Greetings, history friends, and welcome to the Fernie Museum's Virtual Fitness Center, where today we are going to be learning about club swinging. Not that kind of club swinging. This kind of club swinging. These little beauties are called Indian clubs, and although today most Canadians would mistake them for badly designed bowling pins, they were an essential part of getting ripped, shredded, and/or swole for gym rats of old. Clubs like these, ranging from the reasonable to the "oh my god," have been used for training Indian and Persian soldiers and wrestlers for thousands of years. When the British invaded India, they initially adopted club swinging as a form of training for their soldiers and colonists in the hopes that it would make them fitter and therefore less likely to die of horrible tropical diseases. The British Army shortened and lightened the original Jory club to make it both more portable and more efficient to mass produce. Then they brought it back to Europe, where it was absorbed into exercise routines at various gyms and calisthenics clubs. Gyms, you say? Why, yes indeed. We don't usually think of the Victorians as a very fit bunch. In the general imagination, they tend to range from pale, weedy workhouse inmate to pale, weedy clerk to pale, weedy aristocrat, with maybe one or two of these guys thrown in. But that is not the case. Victorian men could fling themselves around with all sorts of fun activities. They had access to public football and cricket grounds, skating rinks, swimming pools, boxing clubs, and gymnasiums, and used all of them regularly and enthusiastically, including in the Elk Valley. Although you would think working in a coal mine was exercise enough, at the turn of the century, Fernie, Michelle, Coal Creek, and Hosmer all had their own gymnasiums and gymnastic clubs. Hosmer's gymnasium was equipped with, quote, parallel bars, a horizontal bar, swinging rings, boxing and wrestling, basketball, and other gymnastic paraphernalia. Two main traditions of club swinging emerged in North America. The German Turnverein style, which used lighter clubs and was more about agility and coordination, and fetching satin shorts, and the British style, which often used heavier clubs and was more about strength. Club swinging was so ubiquitous it even made it into the movies. This piece of cinematic history is the Newark Athlete, filmed on a kinetoscope at Edison Laboratories in 1891, which makes it one of the oldest moving pictures in the world. The sport was not just for men, either. Queen Victoria's doctor recommended she use clubs to firm up the royal flab. However, when women used them, it was usually at home or as part of a choreographed calisthenics routine in schools or other female-only areas. Even then, women were encouraged to exercise lightly, if at all. It was feared that women who were encouraged to exercise would gain unladylike muscle and be tempted to engage in other manly activities, like spitting in the street or voting. And, in a way, they were right. At the turn of the 20th century, the militant wing of the women's suffrage movement, the suffragettes, not suffragists, important distinction, took to the streets and regularly used Indian clubs like this one, along with truncheons, parasols, bricks, and jujitsu, yes, jujitsu, in brawls with police constables. Indian clubs were a common suffragette weapon because they were easily available to women, and they had just enough heft to be dangerous while also being small enough to fit inside a bustle or a petticoat. Mounted police at the time had a habit of backing their horses into suffragette rallies to break them up. Protesters found that if you poked a horse in the back of the knee with an Indian club or other implement, the horse would sit down abruptly, unbalancing its rider and giving you enough time to run away. So, if these things were everywhere, where did they all go? Simply put, they were replaced. Club swinging teams and public displays were outcompeted by other sports that were much more fun to watch, like basketball, football, and hockey. Meanwhile, the people who wanted to build big muscles turned to heavier weights with more confined movements, and eventually, weight machines. It didn't help that in North America, club swinging was still associated with German culture, and so its popularity waned with the advent of the two world wars. Thank you for watching Cabinet of Curiosity, and please tune in next time when we will be jump-starting our health with homemade electric current.